What's up, y'all? How's it going? Stand up for me. Everybody stand up. Come on now.
Let's go.
What's up with it? Yo, this young gentleman is in a suit. What's your name, Doc?
Michael.
Give it up for Michael, ladies and gentlemen. Brushed his hair, tucked in his shirt, put a suit on, and is 13 years old. How old are you?
I'm 22.
20, okay, that's kind of like, you're a diaper, man, you're young. But we're happy to have you. So do me a favor, put your hand on your hips. All right, now just kind of rub elbows with the person next to you. All right, you go ahead and sit down. So, why did I make you chicken wing? Well, I think that the most valuable thing that you will get out of an event like this, what's up, Eli? I would like to meet you in person, brother. Give it up for Yapo, ladies and gentlemen. I peeped you from across the room. I think the most valuable thing that you will get from an event like this is a relationship with someone else. And I can trace back my entire career, every kind of major success leap, to a relationship I made at an event. So I got some good shit to say to you. What's up? And I will tell you things that I think are going to be beneficial to you on your journey as an entrepreneur. But more important than that is making a friend or two while you're here. And by the way, as of this moment now, there is no more touching. Personal space bubbles are back in effect. No more rubbing up against people unless you have their express permission, okay? I'm grateful that you're here. Thanks for coming out. You know, the most valuable thing that you have is your time. And so when you choose to spend it with me and with Gorgeous and with the sponsors, we're gonna do everything we can to make sure that you get value out of it. So let's jump in. I started in e-commerce in 2005, ladies and gentlemen. You see that curl on my head right there? That was on purpose. I thought that was cool. It wasn't cool, but I really thought it was. That was my Elvis era. I actually was America's #1 Elvis wig, mullet wig, afro wig, clown wig, finger wig, fluff wig retailer for like 2008, 2009. I ended up starting a business kind of looking like that. I sold it, I looked like more like this. That was a good little business. Sold that in 2012. I was Shopify's first professor at their e-commerce university. Is the sound too loud? How you guys doing? Echoey, are you good? You got it? Okay. I was their first professor at their e-commerce university back in 2013. I'm still teaching for them today. I own and operate 5 different brands, and I'm invested in quite a few more. I got about 180 team members. My brands this year will do 150 million in revenue, and this is my core brand. We're almost at 200 million in sales in the last 6 years or so. And by the way, I am just some guy. I didn't make it out of high school. I didn't go to college. I am not any fancier or smarter than anyone in this room. So like, I'm not showing you this to brag. I'm just showing you this because like, in this industry, the way that you demonstrate that you know what you're talking about is you show what you've done. And you definitely can have levels of success that are beyond what you might be able to imagine. I grew up on the lower end of the economic spectrum, and I'm now sort of on the wealthier end, and I kind of traveled every step of that over the last 20 years. This is Overtone. I just bought this company, Smart Marketer. It's an educational brand that I own. We do masterminds. We're an agency. We'll run ads for you, that kind of stuff. And this is the newest brand we just bought. It's called Navage. Anybody a Navage user? Yeah, what's up? What do you think? You like it? Yeah. Okay, yeah, he's got sinus stuff? Yeah. Yeah. Sure. You don't get sick, yeah. The theory behind this is that 100 years ago, nobody brushed their teeth, and now everybody, well, most people probably. Some people in this room definitely didn't brush their teeth this morning, y'all. And you're gonna run up on them and you're gonna be like, damn, son. But the idea is, hey, over the next 100 years, people will be cleaning their sinuses in a way that they haven't before. This was my house in high school. I lived in a tree, so I definitely did not come from resource. And the stuff I'm going to show you today is how I go about optimizing every part of my business. Because when you grow up without resource, you are hyper-focused. We're going to talk a little bit about resources later on like what steps you can take in every area to make things better. So before we get into the technical, tactical stuff that you'll be able to implement in your business, I want to give you a few things to think about. So you don't know what is coming your way. You don't know what life's going to throw at you. The people in Florida and North Carolina just had this experience. I've had some personally some pretty traumatic events in my life over the last 5 years. My business partner suddenly died. She was the face of my brand. She was kind of like a second mom to me. She was a really wonderful friend and person, and she got all of our emails came from her, all of our videos were from her, so it was really tough on the business when she passed away suddenly from cancer. And then in 2022, I spent 95% of my year inside a neonatal intensive care unit across 4 states with my daughter who passed away about a year ago. And she, this is not to make you feel bad for me. Her life was actually a really wonderful love story. It wasn't a tragedy somehow. But the point is that you can't control what life throws at you. But what you can control is how you show up every day. The attitude, enthusiasm, deliberacy, and intention that you bring to your world is your choice. You get to choose how to respond to what the world throws at you. And the same goes for your business, which is what we're gonna talk about today. By the way, I got a new little dude. And he's real sweet, he's 7 weeks old, and don't worry, he's not like replacing Audra, he's just adding to the party. I got a little defensive of her. I was like, look dog, you're definitely not as cute as her, and don't try. Be a gentleman and let her have that, all right? So but he is getting cuter by the day, all of a sudden. He's growing on me, so that's my little dude right there. All right, so areas of focus. These are the areas that if you want to, I'm gonna give you some specific areas to focus on. I'm gonna give you some things that you can do in each one of these areas to grow your business. But if you wanna scale a business, and I will just say, business like 1 to 5 million is different from 5 to 10 million, is different from 10 to 20, is different from 20 to 100. So there's kind of like levels of operations and systems that you'll need when you're scaling an organization. And thankfully, when I got started, there was just creepy dudes on an internet forum. There was, hello to the women in the room, we're grateful to have you in this industry. Because it was all dudes, and they were creepy back in the day. And it was on forums, and it was just like, you didn't want to be there, right? There wasn't a gorgeous putting on an event, And so now you have access to all this amazing information. And no matter what size your organization is, these are the things you're gonna have to do well, and we're gonna talk about specific ones. So team, which is people, systems, processes, like you've gotta be able to galvanize a group of people and engage them so that they wanna support you in reaching your goals, which actually turns out, if you support them in reaching their goals, take care of them, pay them well, be generous, give good work-life balance, care about them outside of work, and we can talk about it, but there's your team, there's your product. Turns out, the best product does not win in the marketplace. The best product doesn't win. The best promise wins. Whoever makes the best promise wins the customer, and then the product has to live up to the promise that you make. So your product is never done. You're always making it better, optimizing it, figuring out new ways. And we're gonna talk about product in a second, but you're never done with product, no matter what business you're in. I'm in services, I'm in software, I'm in information publishing, I'm in e-commerce. Your product is never done. If you think, oh, I finished my product. No, not done. You gotta keep working on it. Then you got your big rocks, which are your promotional calendar. So, talk about this specifically in a minute, but if you are not promoting, you're not gonna do well. You've got to be far more promotional than you think. And we'll talk about that. Then you got your little rocks, which is kind of like your promotions are like your static events. Your Black Friday, Cyber Monday, your Valentine's Day sale, your influencer live event, your static promotions. There's a strategy around it. We're gonna get to it. Then there's your daily, weekly, monthly engagement of the people who are paying attention to you. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. Then there's awareness generation, which is getting people to know that your brand exists. Then there's your community of folks who do know about you. And then there's KPIs for each department in your business. So how many customer support tickets are coming in on Yotpo, or reviews are coming in, and how often, and how are you making that better? And then there's your business level KPIs, which, by the way, if you DM me, I have the ultimate, I have been working on this for about 15 years, e-commerce KPI sheet, which is basically, if you could run your business on this one sheet of paper. It is new customer revenue, returning customer revenue, number of discounts you gave, average order value, conversion rate. It's like all the metrics that if you're looking at those on a weekly basis, you will know if your business is doing good. And if something doesn't look right, you're like, oh shit, why are the discounts so high this week? Something happened, a coupon code got leaked. It'll give you the information that you need. I'll give you that if you DM me on Instagram. Okay, so those are the buckets we're gonna touch on. Let's do a few big picture reminders before we get into the sort of technical, tactical stuff. Are you tired? Is it early? What's going on? What's your name? I'm looking at you right there yawning. Yeah. You didn't yawn? Damn, I must be sleeping. Hey, fried on bushy tail, spring chicken. full of piss and vinegar, they say, you know what I'm saying, out there making it happen. I apologize to you. Because, before I got on stage, people were partying, it was going down, everyone was talking. I was like, I have to calm these guys down. Usually what happens is you get in and people are just kind of glazed over, Anybody been to Krispy Kreme donuts? You ever been there? Yeah, I used to go a lot when it's a whole story when I had a fake ID and I was going to the casino, it was the whole thing. But basically, Krispy Kreme, they do donuts fresh at 11 p.m. And you got these little balls of dough coming down this conveyor belt into this beautiful oil that will kill you, it turns out. Who knew? I didn't know at the time. It's going down in this oil and then they flip them over and it's all crispy and golden. And then there's this waterfall of glaze. And then the donuts go through the glaze. And then there's like some 13-year-old, there's this kid right here, over here in the suit, putting sprinkles on them and shit and handing them to you. And most people just look like that glazed over donut. But she does not. That's my point. You're awake out here. All right, big picture reminders. Here we go. The game of business is won or lost on the back end. Here you can see I took a random amount of revenue over the course of a couple of years. I got 90 million in first-time customer revenue, 80 million in repeat customer revenue. It is not about the first sale. If you can break even on the first sale, you have an 8-figure business. If you can build a business and you make no money, but you don't lose money when you get a customer, I will buy that business from you. It's a great business. You've got to get good at delivering on the product and then upselling and cross-selling another item. So, people only come to me for one item. They only come to me for this makeup stick. And we're going to talk specifically about how most e-commerce brands try to go really wide and market a bunch of products, and that's a bad idea. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they come to me for this. But look at how many products I have. I've got like 30 products because I'm upselling, I'm cross-selling, I'm making new stuff. And we'll talk about how you figure out how to make that stuff. You need to send more emails and SMSs than you think. Content emails, promotional emails, sale campaigns. You got to be doing giveaways, new product launches, discounts, ambassadors. You have to have every 4 to 6 weeks some kind of a promotion. If you got 50 people on your email list, or 500 people on your email list, or 500,000 people on your email list, an SMS list. If you promote, if you merchandise, we'll talk about merchandising in a second, once every 4 to 6 weeks, you're gonna make more money than if you don't. And what you can see is on those, like let's say you've got a sale happening for 3 days. Day 1 and day 3, the opening and the closing of the sale, you wanna be sending 3 emails, 2 SMSs, and doubling your advertising spend. At a minimum, because the average adult gets 357 emails a day. Over Black Friday, they get like 3,000 per day. They're not seeing most of the emails that you send. So if you are more aggressive when you promote, you will make more money because most people don't see your stuff. You think, oh, I'm gonna get spam. You're not gonna get spam. As long as you're sending content once a week, just once a week, some piece of content, and remailing it to the people who didn't open, who are not on Apple, because you can't do that anymore, you'll be fine. So the other thing, these are just some big picture directional ideas before we get into the specifics. You need to go all in on influencer and ambassador content. The millennial brands, that's my generation. I'm the millennial generation. We really kind of pioneered this, and it is still the best form of marketing on the internet today, is ambassador content, which is your customers, we'll talk about how to get that, and then paid creators. And these videos, what we do is we just send an email after someone buys from us, and we're like, hey, thank you so much, we're a small family-owned company, we would love it. We'll give you a gift certificate to our store if you'll send us a video talking about what our product did for you. And we follow up with them, we get 2X buyers to do it. Have you in your life ever seen a woman happier than this? No, you have not. That woman is happier with our product than she is probably about her husband. Because if statistics are to be listened to, he's not listening to her. He's not paying attention. He's not noticing her. He's not waking up early to make her breakfast. And she is happy in this photograph, okay? And this video was made in 2017, and I still use it today. Because you only need one really good asset. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But damn, look at this lady, she's happy. Also, notice that in my videos that I've got really big captions, text cut over them, and I have a headline edited into the top of the video. So I get extra headline on my video ads because I edited it in right to the top of the square. Other big picture thing that you're never done with. And I'm gonna give you specifics on this, don't worry, but I'm just getting the big picture things out of the way. Offer creation and optimization. So I bought a company called Overtone, which is a hair color company, like makes your hair fancy colors if you want to like celebrate yourself in that way. And I'm going to show you what we did to the average order value in a second, but your people they do their e-commerce product page and then they leave it alone. And it's like, no, it's never done. You have to keep optimizing it. People are really focused on what they're selling and what the benefits are. But that is not what sells. Okay, it's a microphone and it's metal. What sells is who is buying it and why are they buying it. If you understand the consumer, I am not a woman over 50. It may come as a surprise. However, I have the #1 makeup brand. Well, actually I have #2 now because some cats came in and took over. But I had for many years the #1 brand for women over 50 in America. Because I did the work to understand that group of people. Actually kind of an interesting story, I'll just tell you for a second. Turns out, in the eyes of society, women are valued for youth and beauty. And they're told that their life is, pretty good till about 35, and then it's kind of all downhill from there, and it's tuck it in and tighten it up and Botox yourself and dye your hair and anti-age and anti-wrinkle, and it's pretty fucking intense. Now, men, on the other hand, we are sold this idea. This is all bullshit, but this is the conditioning. It is, but this is the conditioning that we get, right? Men are told, hey, your value comes from production. And the more money that you make, the more valuable you are in the eyes of society. That's why older men are like suave and debonair, and George Clooney is 736 years old, and he's in a movie and his love interest is 14 or 27 or whatever, right? It's like, they don't do that the other way around very often. And so here you have the baby boomer generation, and there's 80 million of them. Now, some of them have died off in the last 10 years, and millennials are catching up. I think we just overpassed them, actually, for the largest consumer demographic. But, you got 40 million women, and they're all experiencing their hormones shifting, their skin going, or their hair going silver, their skin changing, and everybody telling them that this is wrong and bad and needs to stop and is fucked. And our brand takes a stand against that, right? We don't think life is like a mountain. We think it's like this, like a V. It just gets better. Every stage of life is a different kind of beautiful, and you really can enjoy your life and have a beautiful life and have the most wonderful love affair in your 70s. Turns out a lot of these women are divorced. Like I was saying about that lady who wasn't happy with her husband. Point of all of this is you can do the work to understand your consumer better than your competitors. And this is why founders tend to be really integral into businesses, because usually founders are people who are the avatar themselves that they're speaking to, so they really understand who they're speaking to. But you don't have to be a founder, and you could be in any part of an organization and do the work to better understand the consumer by just interviewing them and listening. Just ask them questions and listen to what they have to say, and then tell stories about it. And we're going to talk about how to do that in a second. So who you're selling to and why they're interested in the things you're making is the most important thing in optimizing your offer. Damn, check this out. You guys see this? Pow, flames. You haven't seen that? Have you ever seen that in a presentation? Watch this one more time. Pow, flames. That's a pretty sweet, dude. I kind of like that. I think my team must have put that inside of there. Watch this. Bam. $40 million in revenue, $13.6 million in advertising spend. My viewpoint is that there is a perfect top line revenue to ad spend ratio. So I think you need to be spending 20 to 35% of your top line revenue number on paid amplification. So the thing about paid amplification is it is the fuel that moves your business forward. It is the energy that pushes the car of your business forward. And it's kind of like a diet or a workout program where you have to do it every day. You can't start and stop. You've got to just continually, in whatever your budget is, if it's $100 a week, set the budget and spend it. And what happens is, people in business, I've noticed, one of the reasons I'm successful is I show up every day with a positive attitude, and I take the next step I can in the direction of my goals, and I do my best. And I've done that for 20 years. And what happens, I've seen a lot of people quit before the miracle. And what's interesting about using advertising to grow your business is it's kind of like, anybody I've grown some shit, if you know what I'm saying. Anybody grown anything in a garden? Anybody? Got no gardeners in California? We don't got gardeners in California? Damn. All right, we got a couple gardeners. My homegirl here, who's definitely awake and was not yawning, is a gardener. So, interesting thing about gardening, right? You plant a seed, and then you water that motherfucker. and then you fucking water it again, and nothing happens. And you're like, what is going on? But below the soil, it's split open, and there was a little sprout coming up. And then you were like, well, this isn't working, and you stopped. But there was something happening. And that's the interesting thing about paid ads, is something is happening. You're building audiences, you're generating email leads. Maybe you don't got as much customers as you want, but there's a reason why. This is just my ratio, you saw 33.9%. Your ratio between 20% and 35% is gonna be dictated by your margins. So you have to look at your margin profile. For me, I can afford to kind of be up at that 35% range because I have good margins. But there's a reason why brands hit 8 figures in year 4 and 5 most of the time. So I have the wonderful blessing of getting to engage with thousands of entrepreneurs every year through my business Smart Marketer, my mastermind, my agency, and the brands that get 8 and 9 figures, it's always year 4, 5, and 6 because the consistent investment of the years prior is what makes that possible. And we'll talk about why you need to be looking 5 years down the road in a second. You get out of your business what you put into it. Everyone's talking about, what can I take out of my business? How can I get more money? I made 100 grand, I'm taking 30 out. As soon as the business start making money, they're wearing ripped jeans, they're on Instagram balling out in Lambos, they got watches and shit. It's like, no. I mean, fine if you want the ripped jeans or whatever, but the question to ask is not, what can I take out? It's what more can I put in? Who can I get to help me? How can I invest more? And actually, our most popular president, because politics is definitely what you want to talk about on stage. Our most popular president of all time once said this.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your
business
can do for you, ask what you can do for your
business. He said that shit back in the 70s. Nobody was listening. I heard it. So, the other thing that you need is a truly good product. You know, there was toothbrushes before Quip, electric ones. There was shoes before M. Jimmy. There were actually, these guys kind of pioneered wool shoes. There was weird pillows before Purple Mattress. There was things that washed your butt before Tushy. All this shit was there, right? But they made a better promise. And then their product was good enough. And a lot of times these brands, their product doesn't start out as the best, but eventually it becomes the best because they keep iterating on it, right? So these are all wonderful products. I'm a customer of most of these products, and it's because they made a wonderful promise and then had a truly good product. Okay, those are big picture sort of directionality. Let's talk about the big dominoes that are gonna help you scale your business. You are in a wonderful colored spandex shirt, my friend. Are you from Nashville? Margaritaville?
Yes, are you talking to me?
Yeah, man, you're here with an orange tripod, you got leather pants and a pink spandex shirt. You are my guy. What's your name?
John Clark.
Where are you from?
I'm from Boston originally, but what do you think? I now live in Southern California.
Fucking A, man.
A Boston guy got on Shark Tank. I did a deal.
All right.
With 2 sharks.
Okay.
And just after 4 years, the president of Margaritaville went on our website and said, I want to partner with Tandem Surf.
What are you selling?
I sell people getting together on the water. Good times.
Yeah, that is an amazing shirt, and that's a plumeria, I believe. No, it's what is that, a hibiscus?
Oh.
The flower on there? I think it's a hibiscus. It's a beautiful shirt. Glad to have you here, thanks for coming. Okay, the big dominoes of scale.
Now you know.
All right, give it up for this gentleman whose name I have forgotten.
Thank you guys. Thanks for letting me self-promote.
Fabulous, all right? Here's the big dominoes that are gonna scale your business, okay? First is product. Now what's interesting, product launches work. Turns out, if somebody buys something from you, and then you do a good job communicating, by the way, there's something people don't do, which is what I call pre-arrival excitement building, where before the product comes, you're sending them videos, yo, this shit's coming, it's gonna be dope, here's somebody opening up, this is what you can expect, it's gonna be amazing. You hype them up, because you know what one of the most fun things in human experience is? Anticipation. And you can use anticipation in your marketing. I started doing this for my Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales back in 2014, building an early bird list, saying, hey, do you want to be on my early bird list? Do you want to be the first to get access to the sale? And it turns out about 10% of people, I send emails, I do SMSs, I run ads. Now this has become industry standard. I think we were the first brand to do it. And now everyone does it. It's because the 50% of my sales come from the 10% of people who raise their hands and said, I want to be a part of this, I want to shop first, I want to get an exclusive discount. There's a reason why every movie trailer comes out a year before the movie. There's a reason why Apple does its product launches events 3-4 months before a product comes out, because anticipation, you have 3 times in which you can enjoy an experience as a human. Before it happens, while it's happening, after it happened. And if you get good at embracing those phases, which you don't have to have a kid die on you to learn this, one way to do it, you will enjoy your life a whole lot more. So product launches work really, really well. How we got back to product launches, I don't know, but we're going back to it right now. And what you can do is just you don't have to make new products. You can reformulate products you already have. You can put them in new, more sustainable components. You can add new sizes. You can bundle and kit new items. You can do slight variances like waterproof versus not waterproof. By the way, on variants, one thing that we tested recently was kind of fun was most people pre-select the lowest variant. We have a product that's $22 for small, $40 for medium, $50 for large. It's a tub of goop. Wonderful goop, organic goop, the best goop you can buy. There's a tub with some goop in it. I pre-selected the most expensive variant on the page. And I have, on any given day, between 10 and 30% more people buying the most expensive variant. So you might want to try that if you got variants. One of the things that we do for products is you want to build in response to the desire of your consumers. So we send a survey out to 1-time buyers, 2-time buyers, 3-time buyers, like, yo, hey, we're a small family-owned business. We can't say that anymore. We got bought by private equity, but we'd love to know, what you think, how we can do better, what you want us to make. And then these populate into a Slack channel, and everybody on my team reads these surveys. Everyone, from every customer, because we want to know what's going on. And then it's like, yo, we want eyeliner. So we make eyeliner. And you'll see, in 2023, we sold 100,000 units of a new product that we made. It's our second best-selling product. Not everyone's going to be a home run, but some of them are, and some of them can be new front-end offers. So this is the part I was talking about earlier where people go really wide instead of going deep. What you want to do is you want to go deep. Jemmy, Tushy, Purple Mattress, Quip, those brands I mentioned earlier, and I give you a dozen more examples. They focus all of their marketing on one item. All their ads, all their emails, all their sales funnels, all their social proof, all their sales pages, all their pre-sale articles to sell one thing. You go really deep. And when you hit 8 figures on one product, okay, now you can sell something else. Doesn't mean you don't do other products and have them on your site and try to upsell and cross-sell them, but all of your advertising, all your email marketing, everything is in the direction of 1, maybe 2 items. And these are the assets that if you do well, you will have, and I've got courses on my blog. If you DM me, I can send to you. What's up, Francesco? Welcome. Give it up for OpenSend in the building, ladies and gentlemen. He is not a sponsor, and that was a very unenthusiastic applause, I will just say. But that's okay. He is not a sponsor, but he's a good friend. He's got a wonderful Shopify app. Also, there's another guy in here, Piyush from Loop Subscriptions. Actually, never mind, because I think you got a competitor who is a sponsor. I take it back. We're moving on. I'm going to get myself in trouble. They're not going to have me back. So here's the assets. A sales page. We're going to talk about these. Images. Now, most people just do pictures on white. You need images of your product being used in its intended environment, in-context images. Sales video, we're going to talk about that in a second. User-generated content, a story and some sales copy, not just what the thing is, but why you created it, what it does, what's the ownership benefit of the product. Top-of-funnel ads and a pre-sale article. If you do these assets really well, you will have a better marketing funnel than 99% of brands on the internet. Now, we'll go through a couple of them. You want to go? You guys need a picture of that? I'm going to give you these slides if you message me, but you can take a picture if you want. Here, picture. Put me on Instagram. Put me on the stories, and I'm going to retweet you now, or whatever you do on the stories, restory you. So, sales page. Yo, you can't just have, here's my product and some bullets about it. No, you need a sales page, a direct response sales letter. Notice that we open with a customer testimonial. Everyone's got the name of their product. By the time they got to your page, they knew what your product was called. Put some sales copy. This wins the split test every time. You will convert more if you have social proof to open the buy box, not the product name. Then we got a sales video under that. By the way, 50% of people will only see this buy box. They won't scroll. So your images, you need a video in the carousel, you need a recap, you need a money-back guarantee. I got a whole training on sales pages I can send you, but this is a sales page, okay? There's content, there's videos, there's sales copy, there's multiple buy boxes. And your sales video, it's not just an influencer or an ambassador. You want that on the page too. But a sales video is a video that communicates the ownership benefit of the product. It only has to be 30 seconds. You know, I now spend like 30 to 50 grand on a sales video for a new product launch, but you don't have to do that. What you can just do is write a script and do a voiceover with some images. And that's what I did for years until my brand was making money, and I still have it on a bunch of my products. Let's talk about a sales video. I got a whole training on sales video scripts. The best script you can do, I still use this in most of my videos, is problem, agitation, solution. So, I'll give you an example. Everlane. Anybody know about Everlane, the brand? They're like clothes, yeah, radical transparency. They believe in ethical factories. Like, I love these people. So, they came out in 2022 and they kind of disrupted the denim industry. And they had this sales video and it went like this. Hey, did you know that the denim that you're wearing is polluting the world's oceans and fucking up a bunch of underdeveloped nations' water systems? This is not how they said it. That's what I took from it. I was like, damn, I did not know that, because I like denim. I like to look fancy and shit, you know? I like to have the whatever. And they were like, yo, not only that, so that was the problem. They introduced the problem. Then they agitated that motherfucker. They said, and by the way, it's killing the animals, and you're an asshole, and all these kind of things about how bad the problem was. And then, at the end, they were like, yo, guess what? We created the world's first ethical denim factory that doesn't pollute water and does this, that, or the other thing, and so on and so forth, and it's amazing, and look at how dope this product is. I mean, it's like the best sales video ever made in that year. And it launched their whole jeans line. And so, you want a sales video, and I can give you a bunch of scripts for this. I've got a bunch of different models that I use that I've refined over the years, but problem, agitation, solution is going to be your best one. And what's interesting is you put this in your carousel, only about 20% of people will watch it, but they're going to watch the whole thing, right? You can see they watch about 93% of this video in my carousel. And then I do closer reminder videos on the page, and the closer reminder videos are designed to overcome any other objections that someone might have to buying from you. And you learn what those objections are by talking to people. For example, in Boom, when interesting thing about a business that starts with an influencer is most of the customers tend to look like and be like that influencer. So in Boom, my influencer, when we started, my business partner, Cindy, 50-year-old white woman. Most of my customers at that time were white women. I didn't like that. I wanted a more diverse customer range. And I knew our product served that. So one of the objections that people had is, hey, will this work for my skin tone? So we showed, yes, look, here's how it works across a range of skin tones. So with overtones, like, will this work for curly hair? Will it work for frizzy hair? Will it work for straight hair? So you figure out what those objections are, and you use videos on the page to overcome those. And look, 20% of people watch that, but they watch 60% of a 3-minute video. That's my buyer. You're only going to convert 5% of people on the page. These are your buyers. You need these assets, and you don't have them. The more products you have, the better merchandising you can do. And merchandising is the incentive for why somebody buys. So let's talk about 4 main things you need in marketing, okay? The first, incentive. Why is somebody buying? What is compelling them to buy now? Deadline. So deadline is like, hey, this is the last chance that the sale's gonna happen. And I don't know if you saw when I was showing you earlier when it was like, look, you need to send 3 emails and 2 SMSs. I do this thing called a countdown to New Year's sale every year, 26th of December to the 31st of December. Whatever my Black Friday, Cyber Monday merchandising was, I repeat it, 20% off. And people will have gotten 100 emails, 30 SMSs, ads for months, and decide to buy on December 26th or December 31st because now it's the last chance. So your incentive is your merchandising, buy one, get one, site-wide discounts, live shopping discounts. We do once a week during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Hey, we're doing an influencer Facebook Live, and there's a special discount just for the people on this. And then we amplify that via video views. Free gift with purchase, that's the best one you can possibly do. Discount thresholds, deal of the day. There's all kinds of different merchandising, but your merchandising is your incentive. Your deadline is a reason to purchase. Anticipation, if you can build it in, is an amazing, that's your 3rd one. And then your 4th one is ownership benefit. What is the benefit of owning this product? Who will I become? How will I be perceived? What will I obtain when I have this thing? And if you can communicate the ownership benefit of the item better than the next person, you're gonna win. And we also do this thing where we extend the sale. So we'll be like, yo, people couldn't get in on Cyber Monday. It's Cyber Tuesday. And it works. It's crazy how well it works. So you gotta give incentive and deadline. You gotta communicate ownership benefit. You gotta build anticipation. Those will help your marketing a lot. Okay, second domino, that was product. Top of funnel acquisition. I pioneered this model of advertising on the internet back in 2015 or 2014. I released a course called Facebook Ads Mastery. And look, this was around in print media, in television, but nobody had done it on the internet. So awareness, remarketing, and loyalty. People who don't know about you yet, people who've engaged with you but haven't bought, people who've purchased. Segmenting your marketing into those three pillars and really focusing your messaging in each pillar is what you have to do if you want to be successful. But most people sleep on the fact that if you don't fill the top of the funnel, you're going out of business. And so what we do is we get these ambassador videos, these influencer videos, and we use those as our ads, we use them as our emails, we use them on our landing pages because they're authentic and they're real. 10% of your budget, 10% of your overall budget should be spent, sometimes 20, one of our brands is 20, on influencer and ambassador marketing. Influencer is paying creators, ambassador is engaging customers to get videos. And I got a whole course on this, and I got content on my blog. But you need to be spending more money on this than you think. You can use it everywhere. It's really amazing. Other thing with ads that nobody is doing, that you should be doing. Who in here is familiar with iOS 14.5? So here's what happened, just quick overview. Basically, Apple owns the phone. Apple owns this thing. And they, let me just pull it out and get a little video of you real quick. So Apple said, oh, Facebook, you guys are making a whole bunch of money on ads. And Google, you guys are making a whole bunch of money on ads. That seems really nice. We'd like to do that too. So guess what? We're gonna shut down your ability to see what happens when somebody leaves your app on our phone because we own the device, motherfucker. And it really screwed with Facebook ads and Google ads because Google used to be able to track everything, Facebook used to be able to track everything. But Apple wants that business. Apple's gonna launch their own ad network in like a year and use all that data themselves. They made it it's a privacy issue. We don't want them to have your data, but we're just gonna take that shit and use it ourselves. I'm not gonna tell you that part. But look, one thing you should be doing that you're not doing with 2 to 5% of your marketing budget is this, okay? Everyone's gonna tell you, you need omni-channel, you need to be on every channel, you gotta be everywhere. Bullshit, dude, you gotta be one place, and you gotta be one place really good. And I have the fortune of being able to, so I got bought by a private equity company, and for a few years before that, I was doing they would bring deals to me and say, hey, this brand's doing 50 million, take a look at it, tell us, is it of sound infrastructure? How would you grow it, and what's wrong with it? Interesting thing about most 8 and 9 figure brands is they have one source of profitable visibility. It's like Facebook ads, or it's search engine optimization, or it's Google, or it's Amazon, and then every other channel is basically break even, usually, or just kind of remarketing people that came from that one channel. So you need one good channel, and I use this method called the engage and filter method. You got 2 cell phones? Doc, who are you talking to?
So I have a team of people in real time that are implementing these ideas.
Damn. But in life, you just wander around the world, parading around with 2 cell phones.
Yes.
And people are communicating with you on both?
All over the world.
And do you get overwhelmed?
I don't know.
Overwhelmed
Today is mental health day, and I think I need an assessment.
Man, listen, it's confronting to perceive so many cell phones. This guy who knows how many devices he has in his back
And I have
pocket.
2 companies. I have Tandem Surf and Modern Shelving.
So you need 2 cell phones? I did 6 companies on one.
Goals.
Anyhow, Jeff over here, double cell phone Dave. Okay, the engage and filter method. You take prospects, warm audiences, buyers. You put video content in front of them. You filter out the people who consume that content and you sell to them. You engage people, you filter out the engaged people and you sell to them. Why do you do this? Well, Facebook is only going to show a given user, Instagram is only going to show a given user, TikTok is only going to show a given user a certain number of ads designed to get them to leave the platform every day because they want your attention. We're in the attention business. Whoever aggregates the most attention wins. So they want your attention. So when you run ads that are not designed to get people to leave the platform, it's way cheaper and you'll get to be in front of the same people more. So these are going to be the same people who see this are going to be the ones who see your conversion ads. So we do video views campaigns. I got 800,000 people for $4,500 to watch 95% of a 30-second video. I traded a nickel for somebody to watch 30 seconds of ownership benefit content about my brand. Here, I traded 40 cents to get somebody to get 25,000 people to watch 4 minutes of ownership benefit content about my brand. These people are going to buy from me. they're primed, they're ready, and now Facebook, who lost its ability to sniff out good customers, knows, oh, that person watched 4 minutes of this. Well, that person's very similar to this person. Let's show that person the conversion ad. So it helps Facebook figure out who to buy from you. And it's a really wonderful strategy that nobody is using, that you should be using. Here's a couple ads. Once you do decide to do some conversion ads, let me tell you a few different strategies. So notice we're using emojis as bullet points. Notice that we've edited in a headline at the top of the video. We're opening with a value claim. What is a value claim? A value claim is where you claim your value. Like I did a minute ago, I said, I pioneered awareness, remarketing, and loyalty in Facebook ads in 2014. Why, this guy's a douche, he thinks he's super fancy, he's telling us about what he did. You could have that viewpoint. But look, if I don't tell you, if I don't claim my own value, ain't nobody gonna do it for me. That's what I learned. When I used to be like, I don't wanna be humble, but it's like, yo, I also have 60 hippies to support. And my mom, I gotta build my mom a house. I got shit to do, so I'm gonna claim my value, and I'm gonna do of course, with integrity and with reverence and humbleness, but you gotta claim your own value. We're the world's first pro-age cosmetic. We started the pro-age movement. Now, pro-age is a known term because I spent $40 million in 10 years advertising it. Now it's fucking everywhere. And then you got these brands being like, we're pro-age, and then they've got an anti-age skin cream right over here. It's like, okay, you don't understand what we're talking about, but okay, call yourself pro-age because it's a buzzword. So, value claim. Benefit statement. What is the benefit? Hey, guess what? One of the things that our audience reported to us is, yo, when we were in our 20s and 30s, we had 30 fucking things in our makeup bag. And now, you know what? We want it a little simpler. So the benefit of our product is it simplifies your cosmetic routine. That's our benefit statement. Affirmation statement, something you believe that your customer believes. Hey, you don't need a long makeup routine anymore. A brand identity affirmation statement. Content call to action above the video, then a question as the headline. This is one of our most successful ad copy formulas. Here's another one. Controversial education. Did you know that germs invade through your nose? So that's I'm not a big fan of fear-based marketing. It's just not my style, but in this product, it makes a lot of sense. Hey, guess what? There's some problems you don't know about. Value claim. We stop that from happening. Benefits. Here's the benefits of this. You're not gonna have mucus. You're gonna be able to breathe better. You're not gonna have congestion. Social proof and a call to action. Hey, this is fast, it's drug-free. Go check it out. Then we've got brand identity affirmation down at the bottom. Clean nose, healthy life. Unique selling propositions, value claim, ingredient breakdown, social proof, large text overlay. These are, you can get these slides. I wanted to show you some of my ad formulas for when you do decide to run conversion ads. So you guys check these out in the slides. Okay. Optimizing your offer. I bought this company in January of 2022. Their average order value was $42. Within 9 months, I had it at $64 because I didn't change any products. I just looked and I saw, oh, you know what? They have, most of their first purchases are coming from samples, but they don't have a sample offer page. So I bundled a bunch of samples together. I did upsells and cross-sells, and you can optimize your offer. And you should be, and that is hey, maybe it's buy one, get this other thing 50% off. Or maybe it's putting together a bundle where they save a discount. Free gift with purchase is the best thing you can do. We were giving away these latex gloves because when you color your hair, you got hair dye on your hands. You can't put it on your hands. We were just giving them away. And I was like, yo, let's call that out in the cart. 7% increase in checkouts from that. Just calling it out. We were already doing it. Free gift with purchase is the jam. Also, interesting thing about mobile is that your header, the header of your website on mobile is the most important part of that site. And it turns out you can increase your conversion rate by about 20% just by optimizing your header. Notice that on any page that isn't a product page, we're gonna have 2 buttons. And look, in e-commerce you want 2 things. Look at my products or give me your information. That's it. I want your email address, your SMS address, or I want you to see my shit. That's what I want. Now, obviously want to give you what you want, but while we're at it, let's talk about what I want, because you came to my site. So I'm putting that right there. And you get 30% more people joining your email list, you get 10% more people looking at your products. 2 buttons at the top. The join the club thing is kind of fun. My friend was telling me, he was like, yo, my kid came home. He had a list of names and $7. And I was like, where'd you get this list of names? And he's like, well, I told people it was $1 if they joined the club. And the dad was like, so what do they get when they join the club? And he's like, look, they're in the club. And I was like, dude, I need to have a club. This kid's a fucking genius. So I started a club, and you can join it if you go to my website, and it won't even cost you $1. Also, take a look at my hamburger menu. When you go to my website right now, boombeauty.com, click on that hamburger menu. It's gonna have my best sellers up there in a carousel. It's gonna have really big text and have an easy way to X out of it. I've got a shopping icon where you can, from any page, go right to the shop. Optimize your header, y'all. And then I got a little button at the bottom that takes you back up to the top. I'm upselling, I got the sticky add to cart. Everybody knows about that now, but that one's a real good one. I'm upselling and cross-selling on every page of the website. I'm opening with customer testimonials. We talked about that a minute ago. By the way, that's me in a mullet wig. That's my wife in a troll wig, my brother in a clown wig. This was 2007. I was 19 or 20. And look, I've been doing e-commerce optimization since I was a kid. This cross-sell on the product page, I bought those whip caps for 25 cents, 25 to 50 cents. I sold them for $4. And 60% of people said yes to that cross-sell. Also notice I've got unique selling propositions and image format under the add to cart button. Notice the add to cart button is leveraging the isolation effect, where it is the only time that color is on the page is in the add to cart buttons, and it pops. It's an isolated color. This is 2007 conversion rate optimization. I'm still using a lot of this stuff today, but you must have cross-sells on your product offer page. You can do it like, hey, we got this product in a bundle, go get it there. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I got an application called One Click Upsell, Zipify One Click Upsell, and you can have 60 days free to it, but it does all this for you. Product page, shopping cart, post-purchase, thank you page, does all these upsells. One thing that is interesting is you can do threshold discounting in your pop-ups, and what we found was that if you're gonna have a pop-up on your shopping cart, you wanna have more than one item in it. So we get $3.67 for every person that looks at this pop-up, but only $2.28 comes from our bestseller. The rest of it comes from these other items that are not as popular. Also, you see these right here? This hair color starter kit? Those are called basket builders. We talked a lot about product. One thing you can do with product is you can create what are called basket builders, which are items that are really easy to manufacture, really cheap, have a high profit margin, and complement your core product. And those basket builders you can bundle together, and you can add quite a lot of margin while giving your consumers something that they need, right? They're gonna need something to brush. They're gonna need a bowl to mix their stuff in, whatever it is for your brand. Easy to manufacture, adds actually quite a lot of profit. Not a lot of people are doing basket builders. What are we actually doing in business? This was the technical, tactical stuff. Let's talk about what we're doing. Well, you might say, well, we're optimizing our businesses so that we generate more profit. And it's like, yes, on one level, yes. But there's a level deeper. And I think the game is resource generation. I didn't come from a lot of resource. I was embarrassed going to school. I ate the school lunches first of all, there's the people who had a lot worse than I did, right? I wasn't abused. I'm not black. It's a fucking spectrum, okay? Where you start off in this world. But the point is that you can generate resource and then use that resource towards causes that you find noble, taking care of your community, supporting your family, doing things in the world that are meaningful to you, whatever that is. And that's actually the game that we are playing as business owners. And it turns out, sadly, cash flow businesses, they won't get us there. Just generating some cash flow from a business will not generate wealth. The way wealth is generated is through asset liquidation. Now, my parents' generation, my parents were hippies. I grew up on a commune. They didn't do this, but that generation of people, what they did was they took their 401ks from their jobs when 401ks were still a thing. They invested that in real estate, asset. They let that asset appreciate over time, and then they sold it. And that's how they kind of generationally created wealth. Well, for us, our businesses are our assets. And doesn't matter how much money we pull out of the business. You've got to be setting your business up to sell it someday, because you will make 80% of the money that you make the day you sell your business. Not from the cash flow you get out of it. And let me run these numbers for you, okay? Let's imagine you have $1 million, go small. It's not small. Look, for me, I just bought a little $50,000 Amazon business for like 25 grand that I'm gonna grow, because I'm not above hard work. I tell my team this. I'm gonna get into this in a second, but basically when somebody joins my team, because we talked about team and I didn't give you any specifics on it, I'm like, look, I am above you in the corporate hierarchy, clearly. But as humans, we're of equivalent value. And even if you're in the lowest corporate spot, Customer support, usually people consider that kind of the lowest one. You're the only one who can see what you can see. And what you can perceive from your vantage point, nobody else can see. And so if you see a way that we can make our products better, we can serve our customers better, you could be enjoying your work life more. There's some system or process that isn't effective, like these stupid Monday meetings that nobody wants to go to. Please tell me, or tell your manager, because I want to know. And we might not take your feedback every time, but we will listen to you. And when people feel like they are valued and they are listened to, and they can be an entrepreneur from within the organization and solve problems, they're loyal, they're happy, and they're motivated. And you obviously got to be generous and pay them well and all that kind of stuff. But it turns out that you really can coalesce a group. So I had 180 team members over 17 years, and not a single person ever quit. I fired some people for stealing from me and shit, but nobody ever quit because they were unhappy, they weren't paid well enough, there was some conflict that we couldn't navigate. I don't know that there's another CEO who can say that. Then I gave a speech last year, I gave this big speech, I have done this, I'm fucking amazing. The next week, 5 people quit, but it was from a business that I bought. I didn't bring those people up. And when somebody comes on your team, you say, look, within 3 years, I want you to be the best in the world at social media management. And here's how we're gonna get you there. You're gonna read these 6 blogs, they're gonna populate into this Slack channel, you're gonna do that 3 hours a week, and at the end of the week, you're gonna tell me what you learned, and we're gonna figure out how we implement it. You're gonna go to these events, you're gonna take these courses. You give them a canvas and a container for their growth. You show them how you're gonna invest in them, and then they will invest in you. It's a two-way street, right? You gotta remember they're human beings. Okay, so, that was totally off topic. Back to businesses, right? We wanna create the most valuable asset possible, so that we can one day sell it. And I was gonna break down the numbers for you. So let's imagine you got $1 million a year e-commerce business at a 20% EBITDA margin. So what that means is you're making $200K in profit. So you got $1 million a year, you spent 30% on ads. So there's 300 grand gone. Now you only got 700 grand left. You spent 200 grand on cost of goods. So you spent 20% on product cost. Now you got $500,000 left, okay? Then you had to pay your team, 150 grand, gone. Now you got 350K left. And then you had 150K in other expenses, shipping and insurance, and who knows what. You got $200,000 in profit. That's a pretty damn good profit margin, actually, turns out. Okay, let's imagine you got that 200K in profit. Well, you got to buy inventory for the next year. That's 100 grand right there. You got to keep 50 grand in the bank, so you got some money, cash flow just in case. So you could pull 50K for yourself, maybe 100, maybe, but that's $1 million a year business at 200K in profit, and let's say you're pulling 50K out of it. Now that business, in a good market, can sell for a 5 multiple. In a normal market, maybe a 2.5 to 3 multiple. So let's go on the low end. Let's say that business sells for 600 grand, cash. You were pulling 50K a year out of it. That's more than 10 years of profit that you were pulling out of that business that you sold it for. And you couldn't run it for another 10 years, probably, and make that same amount of money unless it keeps growing. So selling the business is actually a really important thing to be thinking about 3 to 5 years before you want to do it. And people are like, yo, I've been doing this a year and nothing's happening. I'm like, yo, it's a 5-year game, 10-year game business. It's not a short-term thing. Who cares? If you can feed your family, you're good. Because 5 years from now, you're gonna have something really wonderful if you continue to invest in it instead of trying to pull from it. So we want to create the most valuable asset possible. And the way that we're gonna do that is we're gonna double down on paid. We're gonna do more channels, more videos, more articles. We're gonna spend more. We're gonna invest more into it. And we're gonna optimize our ads in our funnel. We're gonna add products. We're gonna expand our product line. We're gonna move into channels we're not on, Amazon, YouTube, everywhere we can be. We're gonna continue to do more and better content, to tell stories, to up-level our packaging, to make sure our messaging and visuals are in alignment, to understand who we're speaking to and what we're speaking to them about. And we're gonna invest in our team. The amount of value that Jeff can get, who's no longer paying attention on his 3rd phone over here, he's like asleep. The amount of, I'm just teasing you about it. The amount of value, he's like, I got this shit recorded, I'm good. The amount of value you can get out of one person working 8 hours a day is shocking. How much value one person can bring. So how are you to work for? Do you give good benefits? Do you have a good work environment? Do you give people autonomy? Do you give them support and feedback? I believe in people over progress. I think that a happy team is a winning team. And I think if you take care of the people, you go much further. So you want to invest in your team. And by the way, there is no process that isn't to be optimized. We do postmortems after every launch. How'd it go? What can we do better? Your technology stack. What are we using? What are we not using anymore? Every area can be optimized. And for you as a business owner, you're usually kind of driving the car and you're not navigating the ship. If you're driving the car, you don't see the mountains that are up in front of you. You need to navigate, not just drive. You need one day a week where you are thinking about what's coming next. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 14 months, 2 years down the line. At least one afternoon a week where there is no work and no calls and all you are doing is thinking about your long-term strategic vision and how what you're doing today is leading towards that. You need to navigate, not just drive, and people have a very hard time with that one. What does your brand do? You communicate with a group of people who are having a collective experience, and your goal is to establish connection and intimacy with them and add value to their life by commenting on the experience that they're having, and then offer solutions to the problems that they face, which are your products. Let's look at you. You're a bunch of people. You all got internet businesses or work in internet businesses. That's this collective experience you're sharing. Gorgeous decided to try to create some connection and intimacy with you through adding value to your life by commenting on the experience that you're having, by using me as a channel to do that, and then offering solutions to the problems that you face, which are all the sponsors there. Every business is doing this, and when you understand that this is actually what you're doing, you're not making products, you're not running ads. I mean, yes, you are, but it is all a vehicle to do this. This is the game of business. And when you get that, it becomes a lot easier to understand what to do next. And you want to do that on as many communication mediums as you can. It's not about how much you work. It's about what you produce. You know, there are these people who are they're shackled to these big businesses and they're working super hard. They're doing 16-hour days and they're overworked and they're underfucked and they're up at night drinking Red Bulls. And it's like, you don't want to be that. You got to learn how to set boundaries around your work life. A little bit more every day is what wins the game. Just a little bit every day. That's what wins. Consistency is the real key to success here. And it turns out that this is my strategy. And I think this is how you win. Number one, you have fun. Because, hey, you don't know how long you have. My daughter died. Like, you don't know. You do not know how long you have or how long your loved ones had. So if you are not doing what it takes to enjoy your life, you kind of miss the point. What does that mean? It doesn't mean, people think if I am, chasing fun, I'm gonna end up broke and in a gutter. It's like, well, that doesn't sound fun, so you probably wouldn't. But it means take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, physically, so that when you show up to work, you can bring enthusiasm, you can bring positivity. People are gonna be compelled by that. They're gonna wanna work with you. It doesn't mean don't work hard, but have a good time. Make good shit that truly serves the world, that serves your community. If you're making some bullshit blacklight flashlight that's made in a sweatshop by some slaves in China, don't use my shit. I don't want you using my stuff. If you don't know where your stuff is coming from and how it's impacting the world and how it's impacting the communities where it's made, that's not good. You gotta live with that karma on your soul. You don't want that. Make good things. And then be profitable at any level. $50,000 a year, you're having a good time, you made something great, and you were profitable, you've won the game of business and you're doing better than that person who's up all night drinking Red Bulls, grinding, only connected to their computer, doesn't have any family, hobbies, social life. Like, no. This is the game. Here and now. If you cannot have the life you want here and now, if you cannot have the fun you want, the intimacy you want, the connection you want, the fulfillment you want here and now, you won't get it there and then. There's no amount of shit that you will acquire. There's no amount of money that you will make. There is nothing that will do it for you. Because wherever you go, there you are. And if you can't enjoy your life now, you're not going to enjoy it when you get somewhere. You think, oh, if I just made $1 million, then I will be happy. No, you're going to be that same person chasing that same thing over there. So you got to figure out how to enjoy your life now. And the interesting thing is that actually, when you bless your life, then it blesses you. And it turns out fulfillment also cannot be obtained. It cannot be gotten. It is an inside job. It comes from within. You can be fulfilled. And that is by looking around and finding the good things in the world and approving of them and investing in them. And it doesn't mean ignoring all the dark, fucked up shit that's going on, because there's a lot of that too. But it means doing your part to contribute. So the question is, what more can you invest? And it turns out I have discovered that gratitude and generosity tend to be really good predictors of happiness and success. There was a rabbi about 5,000 years ago named Maimonides, and he said, it's a far, far greater skill to have the ability to enjoy what you have than to have the ability to get what you want. Because if you get what you want, it becomes what you have. And if you can't enjoy what you have, what was the point of getting it in the first place? And you see this a lot. People chasing things and they get it and they don't appreciate it and whatever. They're on to the next chase. They love the chase. But it's like, no. Figure out how to enjoy your world as it is by approving of it. And then you don't need more. It's nice to have more, but you don't need it. So people say leave the place better than you found it. I say leave the people better than you found them. That's what I attempted to do here today. My name is Ezra Firestone. I hope you got some value out of this. You can get on Zipify, Smart Market, Masterclass, and real quick, I think I went over on time, but if you guys want to keep climbing for my Instagram, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. One more round of applause. Thank you, Ezra, for joining